Today, we're going to be highlighting some of BrickStor's features around security compliance related to access controls. And to do this, I'm going to show a few virtual desktops where I've logged in one as the CEO and another one as the domain admin. And for this scenario, what we're going to do is demonstrate the ability for the CEO to request the admin to restore a file. And in this case, it's going to be the 2017 Board of Directors meeting presentation. He needs to create the next 2019 Board of Directors presentation. So we're in the CEO folder now, and we can see there's no 2017 presentation. So now I'm going to go into the BrickStor My Rack Manager to go and restore that file for him. We can easily go to the CEO dataset, go to Snapshots, and find the file he's looking for. Fortunately, all the files within Snapshots are indexed, so I'm going to do a quick search on 2017, and I see two files show up, one of which is that Q3 Board of Directors meeting, and this has been deleted from his desktop. So what I'm going to do is go to the last version of it and restore it. And I'm going to restore it to the original location, which is that CEO folder, and click Restore. And we'll see quickly it's pulled out of the snapshot and restore it there. As the admin, and I'm the domain admin of this situation, I actually do not have access to the contents of that file. I can only restore it. And to show you that, I'm going to go into my admin account. So in this case, you can see I'm on my admin Dan domain account. I have the CEO folder there, and it's denying me access. Whereas I can get into these other files and folders that I do have access to. And so now we're going to go back to the CEO's virtual desktop, and you can see that the presentation is there. I can open it up and access the 2017 presentation right from there. So that's how easily you can restore a file for a user. We're going to go look at the compliance reports that are built into My Rack Manager. And from this report, we can look by dataset who has access to each dataset by group and user. In this case, back to the CEO folder, we see that the CEO, Mr. CEO, does have access to it, but we also notice that model employee has access to it. This person should not have access to that folder, and it looks like it was a mistake. And we can actually, through the audit log, look to see who made the permission change. And I'll show you that in a moment. But for now, what we want to do is remove access to this employee. So we're going to do this right from here and make the change. And we're going to see model employee ever access anything in the CEO folder. So we know that the folder was exposed, but did they actually look at the data? So to do that, we're going to go over here and look at that entire pool. And we're going to go look in the user behavior. So we can look at some detailed filters, and we can see who's done what. You can see where these restores of the files just occurred, and that I, as CEO, opened that file. But now what we're going to do is look at all of the activity that model employee had. And so we can see he's been pretty busy. But then now what we're going to do is we're going to restrict the path to the CEO dataset. And what we see is that no, model employee did not actually look at any of the data within the CEO dataset, so we're safe. We've removed his access, and we've shown that he never looked at any of the data in the CEO's dataset. And what we can do is go and look to see who provided access or made those permission changes. So we're going to go look at the audit log. And I'm logged in as admin Dan here as well. And what we actually see is that it was here that the permissions were changed for that, and they modified the permissions. So it looks like I made the mistake previously giving model employee access to this data set. And there are more compliance reports you can actually look at over here. So if we go back to the compliance reports, in addition to looking at the data set, who has access to these shares, I can also go and look at access by user and group. I can go and see what shares do the domain admins have access to, what shares do the finance group have access to. This is very easily attainable from My Rack Manager. And you can export these reports very easily to share them so that people can review them as well. That's just a small preview of some of the access control features that are included within My Rack Manager. For more info, reach out to Racktop Systems.